Hey, beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I guess you can call it a podcast. You guys, we're here today to talk about a few serious situations. The first one we're going to start with is going to be kind of lengthy because more and more details are coming out about Sonya Massey, the 36-year-old Springfield woman that was shot in her face and killed in her home right after calling police for help. So we're going to discuss that. But before we discuss that, I want to do a little housekeeping and address a couple of things and a couple of comments I got on my last video about not remembering names. If you've been here or if you haven't been here, I don't remember names. Sorry, I don't. I'm terrible at names, terrible at birthdays. I'm just terrible. Okay? Trash even. If you guys want me to start taking notes and all that stuff, I don't get paid for this shit. Okay, just listen to what it is, take what you can, and let that be that. All right? This is what it is. This is a fucking hobby. All right, and I'm back. I had to cut off my rant, you guys, because I really went in, and I'm actually only talking to a couple of people that left a couple of comments. Of course, they're new here, and that's fine. It's like, okay, if you don't like it, just don't come back around. That's not a problem for me. All right, you guys, 36-year-old Sonya Massey, in case anyone is not familiar with the case. Sonya Massey, a 36-year-old Springfield woman, called the police because she thought there was someone trying to break in her home or just like lurking around her house. They called it a prowler, but that's what it is. Someone kind of trying to break in, a burglar or something like that. So they finally they're releasing more and more of the body cam footage. And we can hear the 911 call, the initial 911 call, which is not her calling in. It's actually the dispatcher talking to the police and dispatching the call out. And you could tell that they were getting annoyed with her before they even got there because apparently she called and she hung up on them, and then when they tried to call back, she wasn't answering. So they had the officers on the way to try to call back. She's not answering, and they're like, yeah, she's not answering, and then one, I'm sure it's probably the one that shot her in the face, what's his name, Sean Grayson, because he has a very aggressive tone. He's like, yeah, I can hear her in there and she just won't answer the door. So again, you can already tell that he's annoyed with her from the jump. So when she finally opens the door, because they finally released that as well, where he's standing at the door and the first thing she says is, "Don't hurt me." And he's like, "Why would we hurt you when, you called us?" And does a little laugh. So they go in and he's asking her her name and everything, and she's responding really slowly, and he's like, well, you shouldn't have to really think about your last name, so let me see your ID. Again, just being a dick. And she's, fumbling around trying to get to her ID. So she ends up telling him the last name, by the way. So then you can see or hear, I don't know if it was a kettle that went off or something, or the other policeman that was there could see that the water was boiling and maybe about to boil over, because they're like, we don't want a fire or anything, go ahead. So she runs to the stove to get the pot, and she grabs the pot holders and goes over to the sink, and I could swear that I heard the pot, the water where she poured the water out. But as she's pouring the water out, it sounded like she was kind of jokingly asked, well, where you going? Because he moved away so fast. And he was like, shoot, away from you with that water or whatever, away from that water, that really hot water. So the other cop says something about, him and the hot water. And she's like, oh, I rebuke you. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And he's like, you better not. You better not, or I'm going to shoot you in your face. And I'm like, what the fuck? Does he not know anything about Jesus or what she was saying? Like, honestly, it came off like he was just unhinged, you guys. He really was just unhinged. Come to find out, in court today, I think it was today, this man has had 6 different jobs in the past 4 years. Okay, and so by jobs, I mean working for different agencies. So he's been a policeman, but he's bounced around. He's had issues, like he's had other complaints. He is a very violent man. And what's crazy is when you listen to the dispatchers talking, or the police talking to the dispatcher, literally within like 3 minutes from the time that they got there, they had shot her. He had shot her and called it in as self-inflicted, you guys. Self-inflicted. He said it twice on there. And then he called for all of the rest of the officers that were on their way or whatever to slow down. They could turn around. We don't need any more people. They didn't want any more people there because they were lying. Or at least he was trying to lie. So when they interviewed the father, and I saw him on the interview today saying that initially they made it sound as if when they got there she was dead already. Then they made it sound like it was self-inflicted. Then he said it wasn't until his brother said, "What's the address? What's her address?" And he gave the address. And then he said, "Oh, no, no, no. Deputies are involved here. Like, this is not what happened." And other than that, he's like, we would never have known. He also stated that as hard as it was to watch the body cam, and I can't even imagine, I cannot imagine. Can you imagine? We're going to go back to the body cam too and what happened. But can you imagine? But he said, despite the fact that it was really, really hard for them to watch, thank God for the body cam because they would never have known the truth. If it were not for the fact that Sean Grayson, the killer, his partner that was with him had on his body cam, because come to find out, Sean Grayson did not have his body cam on, and I'm sure it was for a reason. So if it were not for the fact that the other one had his on, we would have never known about this, you guys, or it would have gone down as something that was something totally different. Can you imagine how many times this has happened and there's no proof? It's crazy, you guys. The shit is just ridiculous. So now let's get back to talking about the actual incident and what happened, and the fact that this lady actually did. They also showed another angle where she did not have the pot in her hand at all. She had the pot holders. When he kept saying drop the pot or whatever, by that time she was already on the floor. This lady had put her hands up. She still had the pot holders, but not the pot in her hand. And she said, "Okay, I'm sorry," and got on the floor. And then he shot her. He shot her after she had already gotten down and also said she was sorry. So what she was sorry for, I have no idea. But this man was determined to do something, and that's exactly what he did. So when his partner attempted to go and try to render some aid, he tells him, "Oh no, she's done. She's cooked." It was a headshot. Then we see another angle where it's a billion police officers outside. This asshole goes outside and tells them that this fucking bitch was crazy. She's crazy. And like, he's unreal. And everything that he did was unreal. And I thank God that he was fired, arrested, and he went to court today and he was trying to get a bond and they would not give him a bond. Thank God. His attorneys were trying to say that he's not a flight risk, so they definitely want a bond for him. He's not a flight risk, not to mention he has medical conditions. So apparently he has colon cancer. And I'm just glad that that didn't work for him. Sorry. You'll have to die of cancer in the hospital, sir. Sorry. Or not sorry. But yeah, he didn't deserve it. And thank God that they did not let him out. So he has been charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder, aggravated battery, and aggravated battery with a firearm, and official misconduct. So we'll see, what happens with him. But yeah, this is just ridiculous, you guys. Did you guys see the videos? If you did not see all the videos, there's a whole rabbit hole that you can go down on YouTube now that they are releasing kind of everything, and it's very sad. I mean, it's very sad. And I could tell that Sonya Massey was a little, she was a little classy. She had on a long flowy robe, and I was like, you better go. When she got up to go, it's not funny, you guys, I'm not making a joke, but it's true. That's what I was thinking. When she got up and she floated over to the stove to get the pot or whatever, I was like, ma'am, yes ma'am. So yeah, this is just awful that you could call the police for help. And it's extremely scary for me, you guys, because I do all the time. Like, I call them and be like, shit, I heard something, or I hear something. I've had them come here a number of times to see if there's anything going on here. They literally had the dogs and the weapons drawn and everything one time. And we're coming in because my door was wide open while I was at work. And I called and they met me here and just it was like a swarm of them, thank God. But I'm just saying, one false move and I could have been dead. And literally I called you guys for help. It's scary. It's a crazy situation. But we'll see what happens. And you guys let me know what you think about the situation. I hate this for her. And my thoughts and prayers are with the family. I am loving the father's energy. He said, "You picked the wrong black woman to kill this time." Yes, you did. And I hear it. I totally hear it. So we're going to pray for her. We're going to pray for the family that they can get justice. And I mean, money doesn't bring her back or anything, but yeah, they need compensation for what happened and the fact that these people tried to lie. I want them to get everybody who tried to lie. Literally, everybody who tried to lie and cover this up needs to be held accountable. Let me know what you guys think, and we're gonna move on to the next quick thing. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and talk about Demaria Hollingsworth. As if things couldn't get any worse. Like, I don't know what's going on in the world right now. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and read an article from the People magazine that'll let you know the facts of this case. It's horrific. A 12-year-old girl is accused of smothering her 8-year-old cousin to death in her bed following an argument over an iPhone. Humboldt County, Tennessee District Attorney Frederick Agee says that the 12-year-old, who is about to turn 13, has been charged with first-degree murder and tampering with evidence. The district attorney says police obtained home surveillance footage that shows the girl allegedly using bedding to suffocate her cousin, who was sleeping on the top bunk of a bunk bed they had been sharing. After the 8-year-old died, the suspect, whose name was not released, allegedly cleaned up the victim and repositioned her body, according to Agee. "I consider this to be one of the most disturbing, violent acts committed by either an adult or juvenile that my office has prosecuted," Agee says in a statement. Prosecutors have filed a motion to charge the 12-year-old as an adult. The 8-year-old's mother identified her as Demaria Hollingsworth and told WREG that the girls had gotten into an argument about an iPhone earlier that day. In article. You guys, can you imagine this? You have family over. You have fucking family over, and the kids are supposed to play together. What is the world? I mean, seriously, you can't have your kid play with their cousin? An iPhone? An iPhone. And then what's so disturbing for real is that this girl repositioned her body and tried to make it look like it was an accident or whatever. Like, what has she been watching? Where did she get all of this from? It's crazy. It's ridiculous. And the mom had to watch this on her surveillance footage. Like, she literally watched her daughter being killed. I just cannot imagine any of this. Any of this stuff that's going on is just so awful. I swear to God, I hope God just protects and covers all our children, you guys, because the world has become a crazy place. I mean, it's just gone mad, and it's gonna get even worse. Let's talk politics for a second. No, we're not gonna talk politics. We're gonna say that our thoughts and prayers are with this baby and her family, and also the 12-year-old a little bit, you guys. Like, I feel like she's 12. She's not. It's hard. You want to condemn her and, yeah, charge her as an adult and everything because of what she did, but her whole brain is not even formed right now. Like, it really isn't. Something is seriously wrong with that baby as well. So, just thoughts and prayers to everybody involved in this situation. All right, you guys, let's touch very quickly on politics. And I try to stay away from it because, it just brings up a little bit of everything and a little bit out of everybody. Just opinions on opinions on opinions. And We know what happened. So apparently the POTUS got COVID and dropped out of the race. And here's my thing, you guys. I don't think he ever had COVID at all. I think that was something that they came up with so that he could drop out, for health purposes, as opposed to saying he is suffering from, possibly having onset dementia, and it's rapid. He's going through a rapid decline, you guys. And I'm not trying to speak that into existence. I really am praying for him. I like Joe Biden. Like when he had all his faculties about him or whatever, he was a feisty man. But he doesn't anymore. And something is going on. And it's very, very sad. But it's interesting how they want to play in our faces. Yeah, I'll be watching a whole lot of House of Cards and the boss and like all that stuff about politics. And I know how they have to plan things out. So yes, COVID never had it. 2 days later, he doesn't have it anymore. He had it 2 days ago. And no, I am exaggerating for storytelling purposes for everybody who want to come around here and tell me how to do my fucking, I was going to say job, but it's not a job. It's a hobby. Yes, I am exaggerating, but he literally only had COVID for a couple days and now he's COVID free. Now that he's made the announcement that he is no longer, in the race, we know. And so while it was a shock to us, it was not a shock to them. It's something that they have been planning out for a long time. Kamala knew she was getting ready. She was getting geared up. Good for her. Let's see what happens. But one thing that I do want to say, you guys, is Trump is attempting to give immunity to policemen. Okay, which means that what's his name? Sean. Let me make sure I get it right for the people. Sean Grayson would be off scot-free. He would not be held accountable at all for anything that he did. So something's wrong with that, and it would just be it already is a killing spree on black and brown people by the police. And now you want to give them immunity and let them know that you could just go and total anarchy. It's the purge. I swear to God. And it's ridiculous. So you definitely need to vote. And, I love when people say, whichever way you vote. But of course, I'm sitting here saying Trump's an asshole and he's trying to take away every freedom and shit. Black people's lives, basically. So, yeah, make your vote count and vote the right way. I can't tell y'all that. I'm just playing. But, yeah, everybody get out and vote, okay? All right, you guys, if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We would love to have you be part of the Beautiful People family. If you stayed all the way to the end of the video, you are my VEP. And I'm not about to stop it again. Sorry, guys. We just going to have to suck this one up. You are VIP. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Like the video. It does wonders for the algorithm, analytics, all of that. And I will see you guys in the next video. Smooches. Oh, be safe out there, everybody. Smooches.